Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm here again, your Ma'am Kat, your super. We are in Math 6 second quarter week 2. So that is the concept of ratio and proportion. So this video will be your guide in answering learning task 1 and 2 in module 504A. So I'll give example on how to answer those learning tasks. Okay, so before we start, kung hindi ka pa nakasubscribe sa channel ko, please subscribe now and do not forget to hit the notification bell para lagi kang updated sa bagong videos ko. So let's start our lesson. So the objective of this lesson is, after going through this lesson, you are expected to illustrate and understand the concept of ratio and proportion. So first, let's answer what is a proportion. When two ratios are equal, they form a proportion. So when we say proportion, it is the statement of equality between two ratios. There are two terms in the proportion. The first and last terms or last term are called extremes, while the second and the third term are called means. In the proportion, the cross products of equal ratios are equal. If A is to B equals C is to D, then AD is equal to BC. Thus, the product of the means is equal to the product of extremes. So now, let's first clear what is the part of the ratio. So now we have here A is to B equals C is to D. So this is in the fractional form. While if we put that using the column form, we have A is to B equals C is to D. So let's first identify the parts of the proportion here. So here we have the first and the last term. This is called extremes. That is the first and the last terms. And the second and the third terms is called means. So these are the parts of the proportion. If we have here the fractional form, we say that A and D is what we call the extremes, and B and C is what we call the means or the means. Oh, wait a moment. But that is in fractional form. Now, let's have the definition of equal fraction. It said that if the product of A, D is equal to the product of B, C, they are called proportion. Let's have an example. 1 is to 2 is equal to 5 is to 10. Or we can write in column form, 1 is to 2 is equal to 5 is to 10. Now let's cross multiply. So we have 1 times 10 is 10, and 2 times 5 is also 10. Therefore, their cross products are equal. It is a proportion. While using the column form, we have 2 times 5, 10. We have 10 times 1 is also 10. So therefore, their cross product or their products are equal. Therefore, it is called as proportion. Now, let's proceed to the next slide. Let's try this. Determine whether the two ratios are equal ratio or proportion. So we have here 5:6 equals 2:3. Now, how to determine if they are proportion? By just having their cross product. We have 5 times 3 is 15, and 6 times 2 is 12. So we have here 15 and 12. Are they equal? No, they are equal. Therefore, this given is not proportion. Bakit hindi sila proportion? Because their cross product is not the same or not equal. So therefore, this given is not a proportion. Now, let's proceed to the next example. Okay, let us determine whether the two ratios are equal. So we have 3:8 equals 12:32. Let's cross multiply the given. We have 3 times 32 is 96, and 8 times 12 is also 96. So we have here 96 equals 96. Are they the same? Yes, they are equal. Therefore, this given is a proportion. They are called proportion. Now, let's go to the next slide. Okay, I want you to try this given. We have 15:6 equals 5:12. Okay, I'll give you 30 seconds to determine whether it is proportion or not. Okay, time's up. Let's see if your answers are correct. So to determine whether they are proportion, we must get the product of its extreme and its means. If their products are the same, therefore they are proportion. Now let's get first the product of the extremes. So we have 15 times 2 is 30. And the product of means, we have 5 times 6 is also 30. So we have the same product here. Parehas silang 30. Therefore, this given is a proportion. The two ratios are equal. All right. Now let's try the next given. Let us determine whether these ratios are equal or proportion. We have 8:14 and 4:6. I'll give you 30 seconds to answer this given. Okay, time's up. Let's see if your answer is correct. Let us get the product of its extremes and the product of its means. Now, we have here the extremes. 6 times 8 is 48. And the product of the means, we have 14 times 4 is 56. Are they equal? Are they the same? Parehas ba sila? Hindi. Therefore, this is not a proportion. because their product or the product of extreme is not equal to the product of means. It is not a proportion. Okay? So again, when we say proportion, we can determine if the two ratios are proportion if their cross products are equal or if the product of the means is equal to the product of extreme. They are called as proportion. Kung hindi parehas ang product, it is not a proportion. Now, let's go to the next slide. Now, let's find here the value of the missing term. Or let's find the value of x. In your module, you can see the example number 2. So here we have find the value of x. As you can see, we have here a given proportion na may missing term. We have 2:4 equals 3:x. So nawawala ang last term. Now, we can write that as, or let's get the product of this proportion. Now, we have here the product of means, or extremes rather. We have 2 times x, we have 2x. And the product of 4 times 3 is 12. We have 2x equals to 12. Para makuha mo yung value ng x, kailangan mo ma-eliminate ang 2. Paano may eliminate ang 2? By dividing both sides by 2. So this will be cancelled out. X is equal to 12 divided by 2 is 6. Therefore, the value of x is 6. So let's try to check. We have the original given 2:4 equals 3:x. Dahil ang x natin ay 6, palitan natin ng 6. We have 2:4 equals 3:6. Now, let's get their product. We have 2 times 6 is 12, and 4 times 3 is also 12. Therefore, the product of the means is equal to the product of extreme. Your answer is correct. Now, let's have another example. Let's find the value of x here. So we have 15:6 equals x is to 2. Now, first is to get the product of the extremes, that is 15 times 2. Lagay muna natin para hindi nalilito. Is equal to 6x. Pwede rin siyang mabaliktad. Pwedeng 6x is equal to 15 times 2. Pwede siyang magbaliktad. Now, let's get the product. We have here 30 equals 6x. Ang hinahanap lang naman natin ay si x, hindi naman si 6x. So, dahil may 6 dito, we need to divide it by 6. At the same time, the other side of our equation must also be divided by 6. So, makakancel na yung 6 natin. So, this will be cancelled out. Ang matitira sa kanya ay x. And we have 30 divided by 6 is 5. Therefore, the value of x is 5. Let us check. Palitan natin yung x ng 5. So, we have here 15:6 equals, papalitan na natin yung x ng 5. We have 5:2. Now, let's see if the product of extreme is 30, must be equal to the product of means is also 30. Therefore, your answer is correct. Now, let's have another example. Let's determine the value of x here. Now, we can also use fraction here. We can also write it into fraction kung nalilito kayo using colon. Pwede nyo rin siyang isulat into fraction. We have 24 is to 56 equals 3 is to x. So, pwede siyang into fraction. Now, let's cross multiply. We have x times 24 is 24x equals 56 times 3 is 168. Now, ay nahanap lang natin si x, hindi si 24x. So what we need to do is to divide both sides by 24. Now, what is now let us cancel out 24 here. So matitira x, what is 168 divided by 24? That is 7. Therefore, the value of x is 7. Let us check. Checking. Wait. So we have 24 is to 56 equals 3 is to x. Let's get the product of 56 times 3, that is 168. Yung x natin kanina, palitan na natin. Papalitan natin tong x ng anong value niya? Papalitan natin ng 7. So we have 7 times 24 is also 168. Therefore, your answer is correct. The value of x is 7. Now, let's proceed to the next example. Now, I will be giving you time to answer this. Find the value of the missing term in this problem. So we have 44 is to 20 equals blank is to 5. So there is a missing term here. The third term is missing. So how will you answer that? Okay, so here we have here the missing term. You can also write any letters here na pwede nating variable. Kanina x ang ginamit ko. Pwede nyo rin gamitin yung A, pwede rin namang, pwede rin B, pwedeng C, pwedeng M, pwedeng N. Any letters from the alphabet can be a variable. Kaya lang, lagi tayong nasanay na may X. Or in elementary, lagi rin tayong merong N na variable. So, gamitin na lang muna natin ay x. Now, let's get the product of 20 and x. So, that is 20x equals, sabi ko sa inyo, pwedeng magbaliktad. Pwede sa kabila yung may x, pwede rin sa kabila yung puro numerical given. Now, we have here 44 times 5. That is 220. Now, we are only to find the value of x. Dahil ito ay 20x, what we need to do is to divide both sides by 20. So, ulitin ko ha, kapag nag-divide ka sa isang side ng equation, dapat ganun din ang gagawin mo sa ibang side pa ng equation. As the other side of the equation. Kaya nga equation equal. Kung ano yung gagawin mo sa left, ganun din yung gagawin mo sa right. Now, this will be cancelled out because 20 divided by 20 is 1. Kaya ang matitira na lang dyan ay x. And then we have 220 divided by 20. That is 11. So therefore, the value of x is 11. Alright? Tingin ko, tamang sagot nyo. Let's see for the next given if you will get also the correct answer. Now, find the value of the missing term. In 4 is to blank equals 20 is to 15. I'll give you time to answer this. Alright, let's see if you get the correct answer. Now, sabi ko kanina kapag merong blank, pwedeng lagyan ng x. So, we have here, 20 times x is 20x. And we have 4 times 15 is 60. So, here, meron na namang numerical coefficient si x. So, ang gagawin natin para mawala si numerical coefficient is we divide both sides by 20. Cancel, cancel. This will be x is equal to what is 60 divided by 20? That is 3. Therefore, the value of x is 3. This will become 4 is to 3 equals 20 is to 15. So that's it for this given. So there are different ways. Meron kapag magaling na sa ratio and proportion, meron na silang ibang paraan kung paano sinosolve. Dito sa ginawa natin is we multiply and then we divide. Kapag magaling na siya sa proportion, may ibang trick na nagdi-divide muna bago nagmo-multiply. Katulad ng, kasi ang ginamit natin kanina ay pairs of extreme and pairs of means. Doon sa iba na magaling na talaga, they can have their own way of solving this. Now, let's try to find the value of x here. We have blank is to a equals 5 is to 2. Okay, I'll give you 30 seconds to answer this. All right, let's see if your answers are correct. We have here x. Now, let's multiply the extreme. We have 2 times x is 2x equals, the product of means, 8 times 5 is 40. So, we divide both sides by 2. Cancel. This will become x is equal to 20. Therefore, this is 20 is to 8 equals 5 is to 2. All right. So that's it for this given. Now let's see the next slide. Oh, now here we have learning task number 1 of your module. The direction is solve and determine whether each is a proportion or not. Ilalagay nyo lang yes or no. Let's give another example. Ito yung mga una kong example. Kaya lang, all of the given here are in fractional form. Let's have an example. 6 is to 12 and 9 is to 18. So, pwede mo nang alisin yung and to determine. Paano ba i-determine uli? If their cross products are equal, therefore, it is proportion. So now we have here 6 times 8 or 6 times 18, that is 108. And then we have 12 times 9 is also 108. Therefore, they have the same cross product. It is proportion. Dahil pares ang kanilang cross product, sila ay proportion. So that's it for learning task number 1. So kung nalilito pa rin kayo, pwede niyong balikan yung unang part ng video na ito. Pwede niyong balikan yung unang part ng video na ito para masagutan niyo yung learning task number 1. Now, let's go to learning task number 2. So here, solve each proportion, write the answer in your notebook. So katulad nung pinagawa ko kanina sa ating video, find the missing term or find the value of x. Kaya lang dito ang ginamit ay n. Ang ginamit ay n. No, at ang ginamit ay fractional form. Let's have an example na fraction naman. Kasi kanina puro siya column form. So let's have 3:4. Nawala ang aking let's have 3:4 equals 15:n. So yeah. So first is cross product. We have 3 times n is 3n. And we have 15 times 4 is 60. Dividing both sides by 3. So hindi pwedeng yung isa ay 3 at yung isa ay 4. Dapat iisang number. Kung ano yung katabi ng n, yun ang ipang-divide nyo. So we have x, cancel. We have n is equal to 60 divided by 3 is 20. Therefore, the answer is 20. So this is an example for this learning task number 2. So kung nalilito pa rin kayo, balikan niyo yung mga previous part nitong video na ito na andun kung paano sasagutan ng learning task number 2. So that's it for this video. Hope you enjoy. Hope you have learned in our video. Kung nagustuhan niyo ang video na to, please hit the like button and share with your classmates or with your students and with your anak, pamangkin. Alam ko nanonood mga tita. So please watch my future videos. Bukod sa video na ito, mag-upload pa ako ng part 2 for this video. So that's it for today. Guys, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And it's time for signing off.